What's up? Welcome back to my channel. It is your sis Kiera, also known as I am Kika Trail on all social media platforms. And what's up? What's up, y'all? So today is Sunday, Sunday Xenon. And we are back with another Manna Moment. Today. Today we are going to be eating steak, creamy mash, green beans, shrimp, and then a crawfish cream sauce. I was feeling a little surf and turf. Actually, I posted a poll on my Instagram channel. If you're not following me over there, then what are you doing? I posted a poll on my Instagram channel and asked them what should I cook this week, and this is what Instagram decided. So if you want to be able to help me pick my Manna Moments Sunday ideas, because this seemed like the day I'm gonna be cooking this on, follow me on Instagram at I am Kika Trail, and you'll be able to participate in the different polls, and maybe one day I'll cook a meal that you suggested. So yeah, so today we're gonna have a little surf and turf. This is for me and the girls. We're gonna eat real good. We already been fed the word of God. Now we about to feed ourselves in the natural. We full in the spirit. Okay, yes we are. But I just wanted to come on, show y'all the ingredients, tell y'all what we're gonna do, what we're gonna fix today, and then we're just gonna get right on into the word. We're gonna get up this cooking, and then we're gonna come back, show y'all the food, and do a little taste test. So what you're gonna need for today's meal is steak of your choice. I went to Aldi. If you're in Texas, Aldi has this 3-pack of steak, and sometimes it started like $10. These 3 steaks right here, it is the petite sirloin steaks. It was $13.77, but because this one is so little and we are some grown women, I did pick up another one that was just $6, so this was $6.63. So you can eat steak and it can be affordable. So I got steak, I got these green beans, I got some raw shrimp, red potatoes, heavy whipping cream, y'all know, lactose. We got some plant-based mozzarella and cheddar cheese. I'm gonna pray that this will melt properly. We shall see. Some garlic and herb butter, herb, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then I got some crawfish tails. I did split it in half because I am going to do a seafood soup next week. So we only gonna use half of the crawfish tails for today. And that's literally it. Honestly, this meal was under $30 and it's about to feed 3 people. Like what? Don't play with it. You can eat good on a budget. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy today's video. I can't wait to see how this come out because it's my first time doing like a full-fledged surf and turf. So this shall be interesting. The girls is ready to eat. I am ready to eat. And I know y'all ready to watch. So let's get into it. Yeah, I like that better. I like that better.
You know what I've learned about God? He'll bring you out of a place before you're fully ready. Because sometimes the only way to heal what's broken is to separate you from what's been feeding it. The Israelites had been delivered from Egypt, but Egypt hadn't been delivered out of them. They were free, but they still thought like slaves. And that hit me hard because I realized that's me too. In Exodus 16, the people start complaining in the wilderness. They say, if only we had died by the Lord's head in Egypt, at least there we had food. At least we knew what to expect. They would have rather died comfortable than lived uncertain. And that's the danger of an Egyptian mindset. It'll have you craving bondage because it's familiar. See, sometimes it's not the enemy holding us back. It's our attachment to what God's trying to free us from. We say we won't break through, but the moment he starts breaking things off of us, we panic. We get mad. We get angry. We ask God, why is this taking so long? Why am I still in this season? Not realizing that the length of the journey might not be about God's delay. It might be about our response. I remember being in that place, homeless, jobless, trying to trust God when everything in me was saying go back. Go back to what's comfortable. Go back to what's familiar. Go back to what you know. But I couldn't because God had already shut those doors. He wasn't punishing me. He was pruning me. And I want to pause here for a second and just reflect. When I quit my job with no backup plan, when I moved out of my apartment thinking I was moving by faith and ended up in a hotel room, homeless, completely dependent on God, I had no idea how God was going to keep me and sustain me in that place. I didn't know how my car note was going to get paid, how my phone bill was going to get paid. I didn't know how I was going to feed myself for the day. I didn't know how I would survive. And yet God showed up every single time. And not always in the ways that I expected. Not always with a direct deposit magically showing up in my account. He showed up through people, friends, strangers, neighbors, favor, even people I didn't know. They became the vessels of his manna. He sent help to pay my bills, to get me groceries, to put gas in my car, to pay my car note, right when it was needed. Miraculous timing, always right on time. Not always the timing that I wanted, but it was always right on time. And that's what manna looks like. Not always big, flashy, or what we define as miracle money. Sometimes manna is someone next to you, someone in your circle, someone passing by, someone showing God's provision through love, generosity, and obedience. Manna is learning to be solely dependent on God, on his ways, on his timing, on his provision, even when it doesn't look like what you imagine. And if you're not careful, you'll call it wilderness when it's actually training ground. I had to learn that what looked like lack was actually God teaching me stewardship. What looked like rejection was actually redirection. What felt like delay was really development. He wasn't trying to starve me. He was trying to strengthen me. Because if he would have given me the promise too soon, I would have treated it like Egypt, something to survive off of, instead of something to build from. The Israelites couldn't understand that the same God who split the sea wasn't about to let them starve. They didn't realize that manna was the miracle. It just didn't come packaged like Egypt's portion. And I think we do the same. We look at what God's giving us in this season, the quiet, the hidden, the small, and we say, what is this? Not realizing that this is the thing that's going to carry us into the next. When I look back, I see now. The wilderness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because when you've been fed by heaven, you stop chasing what's temporary. When you've tasted manna, you stop settling for Egypt's menu. And here's the kicker. Exodus 16 tells us that manna came every morning, every day, fresh, every day, enough. The Israelites were tested on obedience, on trust, on faith. They couldn't store it beyond what God allowed, except before the Sabbath. And isn't that like us sometimes? We want to hoard blessings. We want to rush provision. We want to control timing. But God's manna comes on his schedule for his purpose in his measure. So before you complain, before you call it lack, before you call it delay, pause. Because what you're calling wilderness might actually be provision. See, so often we look at the wilderness and think drought, emptiness, struggle, dry season. But the truth is, God's wilderness is rarely just about lack. It's about preparation. It's about stretching what you think is enough, growing what's hidden, and learning to lean on him instead of what you thought you needed. In the wilderness, beautiful things happen. Your faith grows. Your perspective shifts. Your heart begins to recognize the small, seemingly ordinary moments as supernatural provision. Like when I was in that hotel with no job, no income. At first, it felt like a desert. But in that dry season, God was moving. He was showing up through people, things I couldn't have orchestrated on my own. Every little act of provision was a seed, reminding me I'm not alone. I'm not forgotten. I'm being trained to depend fully on Him. The wilderness stretches you, it prunes you, disciplines you, but it also creates space for God to move in ways you've never experienced. It's where hidden manna falls. It's where miracles can be mistaken for coincidence. It's where faithfulness becomes undeniable because you've been placed in a space where the only option is to trust Him. So when you feel like God is leading you into the wilderness, don't shrink back. Don't assume it's drought. Open your eyes to the manna. Notice the moments of grace that show up in people, in resources, in unexpected blessings. Recognize that even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's unfamiliar, God is still providing. And when the wilderness ends, you'll see it for what it really was, a place of preparation, overflow, and proof of God's faithfulness. So if you're in a season right now where it feels like nothing's happening, where you're questioning, wondering, waiting, I need you to know that this might just be your manna season, a season where God is teaching you how to trust Him daily. He's weaning you off of your need for control. He's detoxing you from your old appetite. He's showing you that you don't need Egypt to be satisfied. You just need Him. And here's the thing. When you finally learn this, overflow comes. The abundance you thought you couldn't survive without comes in ways that are bigger than you imagine, because God always multiplies what He's given. The same hands that sent manna in the wilderness can multiply your little today into your miracle tomorrow. Manna doesn't look like abundance, it looks like enough. But in God's hand, enough is always more than sufficient. So today, I dare you to let go of your Egypt mindset. Stop longing for what was and start looking for what's being provided, because the same God who brought you out will surely bring you through. You just have to let go long enough to receive what's already falling from heaven. And that's your manna moment.
All right, y'all, so we have finished dinner. So this is it. We got shrimp, we got mashed potatoes, then we got a cream cheese crawfish sauce, and then we got our steak. Let's try it. I'm vlogging too, so maybe y'all can see the girls' reaction later, but I'm ready to close out this video, so we're gonna go ahead and try this, okay? So okay, so this is the oh, that's good for that to be vegan cheese. Then you got a little, one day I'm gonna perfect my steak. I ain't there yet, but it's gonna get there. Oh, the shrimp are good. So this is this week's manna moment. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave comments and suggestions for next week manna's moments. Well, no, I already got that, but just leave some suggestions, some recipes, some things, and all of the stuff in the description box. I mean, in the comment section. Y'all, I'm tired. I ain't ate. I'm hungry. I'm running off a muffin and some salami, okay? But if y'all enjoyed today's video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? And yeah, don't forget, you are called, you are chosen, and you are loved. I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. Until the next time, peace.